What's up, guys? Welcome to the Imperfect Swing Golf Podcast. Today we're joined by two-time DP World Tour winner Haydn Porteous. Haydn, thanks for coming on and making some time. Good to be back home in SA after quite a long year last year.
Yeah, it's to be honest, it's well. First off, thank you, Shannon, for having me. Yeah, it's been a brutal couple of years. I think not only for golfers but for everyone in general. Just with travel restrictions, living in bubbles, it's really been difficult. I think that's also played a big part in the way that I've performed over the last couple of seasons as well. Obviously, it's unfortunate, but we've just got to keep on, just keep grinding away, and things will turn around.
And I think, speaking on that whole kind of COVID period for you, you obviously do base yourself out in Czech. But there's nothing like home. Did that kind of play quite a big part in just not being able to, sit back with more than one person?
Yeah, it's I do have a base there in the Czech Republic, and I really like the people there. I've got the things that I need to sort of practice my golf and still stay in pretty good shape. But as you say, nothing is like home, and also the people that are at home, like my family and some good friends. I missed them over the last couple of years, especially when golf obviously hasn't been to standard. I found myself in quite a sort of dark place in my mind, and a sort of dark place on the course as well. I felt like I was sort of staying very stagnant, not a lot of improvement, probably more the other way.
Yeah.
There's lots of variables to it, and I think coming home and just sort of readjusting, sort of looking at the way that I've been practicing over the last couple of years, I knew something needed to change, and I was able to do that and sort of take a step back now that I've got a little bit of time on my hands, and I feel that what I'm working on right now is definitely making improvements, and hopefully I can carry on making improvements.
And I guess the question is, when you are in that dark place, how hard is it for you to be able to take that step back and kind of reevaluate, and not, for instance, sometimes you'll be trying to find something in your swing, meanwhile your swing is actually perfect, or not perfect, but it's in pretty good shape, but you're kind of looking for something.
Yeah, I think that is probably the biggest reason as to why I've sort of hit this slump, is trying to find things that aren't necessarily there.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you just practice and practice and practice, and that you're getting better, whereas now I'm sort of practicing, hoping that I'd get better, and not necessarily working on the right things. So to take a step back is difficult, and sort of highlighting the areas where maybe I'm not working as hard as I should be. These are difficult things, but that's what comes with the job. Having to sort of be your own boss, and sort of take ownership of what I'm doing and how I'm practicing. And I feel that it was only possible really coming home and sort of just giving myself a bit of a breather, and sort of just evaluating everything that's happened, and I could safely say that I needed it.
Yeah. And I mean, we played around out at CCJ a couple weeks back. You obviously have changed quite a bit. What have you, after coming back, sat down and plotted out? What have you changed? You've been training quite hard. We've seen on Instagram.
Yeah. So I've been training quite hard in the gym. I think these kids that are coming out onto the tour now are starting to seriously bomb it.
You're still a kid. You're still a kid.
Yeah, but I always thought that, and then now I look and I'm asking guys how old they are, and they 19 and 20. It's incredible how much the game has changed, and these 19, 20-year-olds, man, they don't hold back. So it's time to get myself into some decent shape. I'm not necessarily looking for extra distance. If extra distance comes, that would be nice, but just a little bit of stability, a little bit more consistency within my golf swing. and also for my mind. I think that's probably one of the biggest things about COVID is that I wasn't able to sort of stay active, and I definitely think that there was a big contributing factor to how I got into quite a dark place. I think I had a lot of time to sort of overthink, and I think a lot of people felt the brunt of that, and it's nice to come back to a little bit of normality and start doing the things that I know that are good for me. And again, when it comes to practice, I'm sort of working more on a skill-based sort of practice routine instead of a very technical sort of box. Obviously, there's always a time and place for the technical side, but I think right now, where I am in my golf, I think it's maybe time to start sort of upping my skills, and the way that I'm practicing makes me feel better. Every time I sort of get off the range, I feel like I've made improvement. Whereas, sometimes over the last couple of years, I could practice for 1, 2, 3 hours and not really feel like I'm making that much improvement. So I feel like I'm on the right track, and that's sort of half the battle won right there.
And for a lot of our golfers that do make it on the DP World Tour, known as European Tour, what was to get the victory on our co-sanctions is one thing. Quite a lot of our South African guys do it, but to actually get that victory overseas is quite massive, and you've done that. Does that also just reassure you that you've done it before? You just need to kind of get back to that, almost that normality, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually speaking to a psychologist towards the end of last season. As I said, I was just not in a very healthy space, and she sort of affirmed me that I've been there, I've done that, got the T-shirt, and some people don't really have that sort of rock to lean on, so to have that in the back of my mind is always nice. Obviously more would be better, but as you say, it's a big sort of stable block that I can sort of look towards and remind myself of that I've still got the talent to do it. I feel like my work ethic has really improved over the last probably 3 months. So it takes a lot. I mean, obviously to win the Joburg Open was a dream of mine when I was a kid. Growing up and watching Charles Schwartzel and Richard Sterney hitting some incredible shots into the 18th, it was almost like a dream, really, when I first won. And then in Czech, that was a big moment for me. It was very different sort of conditions to what we're used to in South Africa, and to do it in Europe was a massive win for me. So. And as you said, it just gave me a lot of sort of mental freedom to sort of understand that I can still do it.
And we had the Royal Cape this week, Cape Town Open, 2 courses. A bit more preparation needed, obviously, having to go out and play 2 tracks. What's your approach going into the next few weeks? Well, especially this week, going to be quite windy. Going to have to get a few stingers out there.
Yeah, one thing is for sure, when you come to Cape Town, you got to get your wind game out. I haven't played down here in ages, so I'm really looking forward to it. I definitely need to have a couple of practice rounds. My memory's a little bit short, so I'm looking forward to it. As I said, it's obviously going to be a little bit different to what I'm used to. But we played Dimension Data last week, and now here in Cape Town, they 2 pretty long weeks, with a lot of preparation. Obviously the 3 courses last week, 2 courses this week. So I guess it's just about maintaining, sort of your energy throughout the week and really being smart with how you work. Luckily, I'm playing Pro-Am today, so that'll give me a pretty good look at the golf course. And then tomorrow I might just have a little walk around Rondebosch. I may only play 9 just to really keep those energy levels high for when it counts. And yeah, it should be a good week.
And to close off on, you mentioned coming from this dark place. There's probably multiple athletes feeling that, through this period, and just people in general. Where have you found your solace, coming back home? I know that has been a major factor, but what did you find yourself doing just to get you feeling more like Haydn again?
I think, something as small as a braai with a couple of mates,
Yeah.
just being able to sort of, put your feet up, not really think about golf too much. I found myself, sort of overthinking a lot in hotel rooms, and, to sort of just sit by the braai and enjoy the nature that we have in SA is exactly what I needed. And it's been good for my soul, it's been good for my mind. I feel that when I'm off the golf course, I am thinking a lot less about golf, which is
Always a good thing.
which is making it a lot easier on me as an individual, and also on me on the golf course as well. I don't feel like there's as much expectation, and just freedom, really. I feel sort of that I've been quite constricted, and I don't think anyone likes to sort of feel constricted, and to have that freedom again is it's just lovely.
With that, Hayes, thanks for joining us. I'll
No
leave
worries,
you to go
Shannon.
enjoy your pram round.
Yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate the invite, and it's always nice having a chat.
Let's see you high up on the leaderboard, just like last week.
Cheers, buddy.
Perfect.
Thank you.